Imagine waiting more than 30 years for a moment that many people believed would never come. A moment so important that an entire nation stops to celebrate. For Uzbekistan, that moment finally arrived. After decades of heartbreak, near misses, and painful failures, Uzbekistan has qualified for the FIFA World Cup for the very first time. And now they're heading to the biggest football tournament on earth. But here's the crazy part. This story was never supposed to happen. For years, Uzbekistan was known as football's nearly team. Always close, never quite there. Again and again, they came within touching distance of the World Cup. And again, something went wrong. A late goal, a controversial decision, a missed opportunity. Every qualification campaign seemed to end the same way, with disappointment. For football fans in Uzbekistan, it became a painful tradition. The dream was always visible on the horizon, but somehow impossible to reach. And then everything changed. Instead of giving up, Uzbek football kept investing in the future. Youth academies improved, infrastructure improved. More young players started receiving professional development at an early age. Slowly, a new generation began to emerge. A generation that grew up believing qualification wasn't impossible. A generation that wanted to make history. And eventually, they did. For the first time ever, Uzbekistan earned a place at the World Cup. Not through luck, not through a miracle, but through years of steady progress. And that's what makes this story so fascinating, because Uzbekistan isn't arriving at the tournament just to take photos and enjoy the experience. They genuinely believe they can compete. The squad is built around a mix of discipline, organization, and growing technical quality. This isn't a team full of global superstars. At least not yet. But international football has never been only about famous names. World Cups often reward teams that play together, defend together, and believe together. And Uzbekistan has plenty of belief. One player attracting attention is Abusbek Fayzulayev. Young, creative, fearless, the kind of player capable of producing a moment that changes an entire match. And every World Cup needs players like that. Players nobody expects, until suddenly everybody knows their name. But talent alone won't be enough, because the World Cup is a completely different world. The pressure is bigger, the opponents are stronger, the mistakes are punished immediately. For many Uzbek players, this will be the biggest stage they have ever experienced. Millions watching, entire stadiums roaring. One mistake becoming global news. That's the challenge waiting for them in 2026. And yet, sometimes being the newcomer is an advantage. Nobody expects miracles from Uzbekistan. Nobody is placing them among the favorites. And that freedom can be dangerous. History is full of teams that arrived at the World Cup with no expectations and left having shocked the world. Could Uzbekistan become the next one? Maybe. Maybe not, but that's almost beside the point, because qualification itself has already changed football in the country forever. A generation of children is now growing up with something previous generations never had. Proof. Proof that the World Cup is not an impossible dream. Proof that Uzbekistan belongs on football's biggest stage. And sometimes that's how football history begins. Not with a trophy, not with a championship, but with a first step. In 2026, Uzbekistan will take that step. The question is, will this be the end of an incredible journey? Or just the beginning of something much bigger?